So everybody knows landscape photography is really easy. We've all watched enough Thomas Heaton videos to know that all you do is walk up a big mountain and take a photo. Well, as a professional photographer, that's what I thought as well, but it turns out I got it quite wrong. By the way, see if you spot the obvious continuity error. Let's get into the video. My girlfriend and I had planned a weekend away in Wales. We were both really excited. That was until Laura found out that I was going to be taking photos all weekend. Things got worse when our connecting train was cancelled and we had to go and get a bus, but still we got to travel through some beautiful Welsh landscapes. We were travelling to Blaenau Festiniog, a historic mining town in Wales, surrounded by the beautiful Snowdonia National Park. I'd not done any prior planning, not even so much as a Google search to see what kind of images I could get, but when we arrived things certainly looked promising and the hotel didn't look bad either. It was getting quite late in the afternoon, but I was keen to catch what light I could, so we dropped off what we could at the hotel and head straight out for the hills. Although it was a beautiful evening, it was bitterly cold and the wind had really started to pick up, so I was keen to make our way up the hill and start grabbing some shots. About a third of the way up the hill, we took advantage of the fantastic views behind us and started to grab some images. The light was still playing ball and we even had a nice leading line of the road leading back to the village. I'm far more used to taking urban landscapes, and I think just being surrounded by all the natural beauty made me rush the shots a little bit. I hunted around for a few different compositions, but even being surrounded by such fantastic landscape, I was finding it quite difficult to find a composition I was really happy with. It was quite frustrating that even though the landscape was absolutely breathtaking, I couldn't quite translate that into an image and felt that maybe it was just missing a focal point. However, by that point we got bigger things to worry about. We were both absolutely freezing and the wind had taken its toll. It was time to head back down before it got dark. I still found time for Laura to make a friend though, before finding the only pub that was open in the village where she was making more friends again. We knew that the next day was going to be even colder, so we were really lucky to find a shop selling all the winter essentials that two mountain climbers need. The next day we planned to head out to a local dam, which I thought would make a great feature point for some of the images, so we tucked into our winter clothing and prepared to conquer the hill. The wind was even worse than the night before, and both Laura and the drone were really struggling with the conditions, but making our way up the hill, it was clear that it was going to be worth it. It was a pretty steep climb, but really easy to do as the road led us all the way up to the dam, and the idea of those views from the top certainly kept us motivated. The dam itself was certainly a fantastic sight. I always find it fascinating to find a huge industrial construction in the middle of somewhere so beautiful. However, I was really keen to start taking images and started working on a composition that would incorporate the dam itself. After studying the area for a little while, I thought the best bet was to go for a pano, to try and get the dam on the right, the leading line of the road, and that beautiful landscape in the background. For some reason though, the image just still wasn't doing anything for me, and even though I'm a fan of sun flare and gritty details, it was all just a bit too fussy. I decided to break out the long lens and try and capture some of the beautiful scenery that I could see in the far distance. However, once again, something just didn't quite work with the images, and no matter how much I tried, just couldn't get the kind of image that I'd really hoped I was going to capture. With the frustration levels starting to rise once again, I decided to have one last crack at a composition. We crossed over to the other side of the valley to look back at the dam in the hope that we'd get the winding road leading back down to the village. Our lack of preparation was once again taking its toll, and after donating my socks to Laura like the hero that I am, we decided it was best to head back down. I'd been kicking myself all day that I'd not created better images, but sometimes it's best to forget about the photography and just admire the view. The next morning we were heading home, and there was just time to grab a couple of shots from the hotel, which after all the effort we'd been through, and a little bit ironically, were a couple of my favourite. On the way home, I contemplated why I'd not got better images, and I think just for a little bit of planning and a little bit of preparation, I certainly would have walked away with something that I was happier with. However, it had still been a great experience in a beautiful part of the world, so not all was lost. On the homeward journey, there was one last opportunity as we changed trains to run out and grab an image. The light was fantastic, and I did what I could in very short time, and once again, still wasn't really happy with the image, but I guess that's just the way it goes. So there you have it. Just goes to show that landscape photography doesn't always go the way that you want it to, but with a little bit of planning and a little bit of preparation, you certainly stand a much better chance of getting the shots that you want. So I hope this video has been useful to you. Please hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't before, and leave a comment below. Let me know about your own experiences, some shoots that have gone well, some shoots that haven't gone so well, and what you could have planned differently. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video.